hope you guys are excited today because we're gonna do something awesome for the 4th of July. Fireworks salt art. I hope you guys are excited. Let's go! The materials you're going to need are paper, paintbrush, watercolor, water, towel, salt, and liquid glue. We're going to be using 3 watercolor techniques today called gradation, blending, and layers, as in layering. We're going to start with gradation first, and gradation is the act of changing one color to another gradually. So you're going to need blue, purple, light purple, which is a mixture of purple and white together, red, orange, and yellow. Remember, when you're doing gradation, you want all of these colors to stand out on its own and pop. After that's done, you're going to do blending. And blending is the act of blending 2 colors together. So lightly dip your paintbrush in water, but not too much, or your paint is going to come out looking a little washed out. And just gently blend the colors in between. After that's done, we're going to move on to making hills or mountains. You can use any colors you like. I'm doing both hills and mountains in the color black. This is where layering comes in. As a little detail for the hills and mountains, you can dip your paintbrush in a little bit of white and paint the side of your mountains and hills in white so it looks like the sun is hitting your hills and mountains as it sets. After you're done doing that, make sure to let your paint dry so that when you start with the salt, it doesn't stick to your paint, especially the salt. You don't want it to stick to your paint. Grab the liquid and pick a place where you want to put your firework, and then gently sprinkle on the salt. Remember not to add too much glue because glue tends to expand out once it is out. So make sure to just lightly and gently squeeze out your glue. You can even use a paintbrush to paint the glue on if you don't want to just use the whole bottle. Then after you've done your glue, you can sprinkle on. Make sure to coat all with the salt so that it sticks to the glue. Salt sticks to the glue. And just clean up the sides if you want. You can use a paintbrush or you can just dump out the salt onto the table. And if you see that your glue has fallen off, just use a little paintbrush and put some glue back and then sprinkle it again. And then if you feel like all the salt is connected, just grab a paintbrush and then just go in between all the glue and wipe off all the salt. After that's done, dip your paintbrush in paint, then in water, then transfer it to the salt because the salt will absorb all the paint. You can do it to all the fireworks, or you can do different color. You can red, yellow, green, or red, blue, and white. Any color you want. Just make it vibrant and colorful as you can. Also, make sure not to add too much water or you're going to make the salt dissipate and just spread it everywhere. You don't want that. You want the salt to be together and be able to absorb all the water. So after you've painted everything, you can just take your paintbrush, or you can just lightly blow on the paper to get rid of all the extra salt that's on top. And then there you go. That's it. You're done. For option B, you're gonna do the same thing you did with the liquid glue for the salt art, and you're gonna make glue fireworks, but this time instead of salt, you're gonna coat them in baking soda. Just like with the salt, you wanna coat all the glue fireworks in baking soda so that you know it'll stick. After that's done and everything's coated, you can use a paintbrush and make everything a little bit more defined so that you can see it clearly. And after everything's defined, you can pick up the paper and shake off all the excess baking soda you don't need and brush it aside. With the vinegar, you can use watercolor and mix it together, or you could use food dye and mix it together with vinegar. You're gonna take droplets and squeeze it onto the baking soda, and you'll see this fizzy reaction due to the vinegar and the baking soda chemical reaction. There you go. How cool is that? Okay guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and make sure to follow us down on our social media down below.